Hello friends, and welcome back to another craft project here on the Moody Maximalist. Today we are melting some records, some vinyl in the oven. That was quite the adventure to start off this project, but what I'm creating today is first of all a bowl. As you can see here, that's literally all it is. I just left it like that and put some faux succulents in there, and then I'm also creating a sort of Dalí-inspired hanging melting clock. And I got the idea for this project from a YouTube channel, Miguelitos DIY, huge channel. If you're in the crafty space, you've probably seen his videos. He does a lot of very cool, like upcycling, thrift flips, trash to treasure kind of videos. So I find those very inspiring, and so yeah, I decided to give this one a shot. So I melted the vinyl, the record in my oven. I can put the information on that down below, how many degrees, for how long, etc. I just sat down in front of my oven and watched it. And then once it was melted and cooled off, I decided to give it one coat of chalk paint, black chalk paint, just to kind of even everything out, cover up any remnants from the paper, which was really hard to remove, by the way. And then I went in with these metallic folk art paints. I tried the rose gold first and ended up not loving it, so I wiped it back down and then went with the antique gold. I'll link that down below as well. So I could have used rub and buff for this, but because it's a rather large surface, I figured, okay, let me try these paints because I already have them in my possession. Might as well. So I just went in and layered on this antique gold color. Again, I'll put the exact information down below. I will say one thing you want to do whenever you're trying to create something that has this like gold brass sort of aged look, you want to start with a dark surface. Now, of course, a record is, usually dark, so that works out lovely. But if you're upcycling any other surface, it's a good idea to paint it black first to really make those gold tones come out really well. So I'm just layering it on. I'm letting it dry in between. I was working on two projects simultaneously. So the rose gold paint that you see over there on the side that I initially tried on this one, you will see that in a different project. I was just kind of working on two different things while this item was drying and then the other item was drying. And I did go in with the rose gold for a little bit just to give it a little bit of dimension, make it a little bit more interesting. I don't think it made a huge difference. It did tone the whole thing down just a little bit. So I'm just kind of mixing and matching these different paints. I'm adding a little bit more black back in if I noticed it's too light for my personal taste, but it's really whatever you want to do with it. I decided to go with this like bronze golden aged antique gold look, but you could also use any other sort of metallic color or even a non-metallic color for that matter. It really depends on your style, your preferences, and what your decor looks like. I figured this would fit in well with a lot of the items in my house. I do have a spot for it, but I'm not 100% happy with it. In terms of where I put it, I think the item itself turned out beautifully, as you will see here in just a few minutes, but it's just a matter of finding the right spot for your pieces. This one, of course, is meant to be hanging sort of from a shelf. That's kind of the idea behind these melted clocks that Dalí was painting. I was a huge Dalí fan in my teens and 20s, and I still very much enjoy his artwork. So as you can see, I'm just layering on these this gold paint, and it's coming out really nice, but it definitely required, I want to say 3, maybe even 4 different layers. I just keep going at it to make it look the way I want it to. And then what I added here is like a little set of clock handles, clock hands that you can purchase on Amazon. I'll link it down below as well. It's meant to be used to fix an existing clock, but you can also just purchase it and use it for crafts. And it comes with actually a lot of parts, so I was able to choose whichever hands I wanted to use here. They were a little bit flimsy, but for this project they were the perfect size. And I ended up choosing a very plain black set. I had to fiddle around for quite some time putting this together, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be difficult, and it really wasn't. It was just a matter of, you know, getting all the parts in the right spot, realizing, oh, there are more parts in the package that I should probably add. And then I also had to go in and widen that little hole in the middle for the battery portion to actually fit through. So that's what you see me doing here. Should I be using scissors for that? Maybe not, but they were there and they worked. So that's kind of what we do on this channel. We do what works and makes sense in the moment. So I'm attaching these clock hands here, and we're almost finished. That's really all there is to this project. One thing that I did do underneath that like flap portion where the clock basically rests on my shelf, just because that portion was a little bit more narrow than I initially wanted it to be, I did add a command strip underneath just to attach it to my shelf a little bit better, and here it is in all its glory. I will say my kit is fiddling with this a lot, so the hands have come off, the clock has come off, but I'll just put it back on and it stays in place quite nicely. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little craft. Again, I'll put more information in the description section down below, so if you want to recreate it, you absolutely can, and I would love to hear from you if you've worked with vinyl before, if you've created something similar, and of course let me know if you enjoyed this kind of content. Give it a like, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!